It was supposed to be a quiet Friday night. After weeks of distance and tension, my wife, Jessica, suggested we go out for dinner to talk. Her tone was calm, almost rehearsed. I didn't expect much. She had been cold and distant for months, always on her phone, always working late. Still, part of me hoped she wanted to fix things. I put on my best shirt, made a reservation at her favorite Italian restaurant in Portland, Oregon, and tried to believe we still had something worth saving. But the moment she sat down across from me, eyes cold, fingers tapping against the wine glass, I knew this wasn't reconciliation. It was an execution. The waiter had barely poured our drinks when she looked up and said, "Daniel, I'm leaving you." No hesitation, no tears, just flat, brutal honesty. I stared at her, searching for any sign of remorse. There was none. "I've met someone else," she added, as casually as if she were changing coffee brands. "He makes me feel alive again." A strange calm washed over me. Not shock, not anger, just clarity. I slowly set my fork down, leaned back in my chair, and asked softly, "So, this dinner was for what?" "Closure," she replied, relieved I wasn't shouting. "I didn't want to end it badly. I want us to be civil." Civil. That word stung. After 10 years of marriage, I was being dismissed with boardroom politeness. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw a woman who had already moved on emotionally, maybe even physically. Her hair was styled differently. Her perfume was unfamiliar. Her phone kept lighting up every few minutes with messages she pretended not to notice. "What's his name?" I asked, even though I already knew. "Doesn't matter," she answered quickly, glancing around the restaurant. "I just need to be honest with myself." I smiled faintly. "Honesty is a good start," I said. "You might need it in about 2 minutes." She frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" I didn't answer. I just looked toward the entrance, where a tall man in a gray suit had just walked in. The same man whose photo I had seen pop up on her phone 2 weeks earlier. Her business partner. Her late-night project manager. His name was Ryan, a married father of 2, and apparently, my wife's new beginning. He hadn't noticed us yet. He was too busy helping a woman out of her coat, a woman I recognized instantly as his wife, Claire. The moment Jessica turned and saw them, the color drained from her face. Ryan froze mid-step, still holding Claire's purse. For a few painful seconds, all 4 of us just stared at each other. I could almost hear Jessica's heartbeat from across the table. She looked like she had seen a ghost. I leaned forward, keeping my voice calm. "You didn't think I'd invite them, did you?" Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You what?" she whispered. I took a slow sip of wine. "When you started acting strange, I did some digging," I said. "Turns out, Ryan's wife had her own suspicions. So, we decided to have a little dinner meeting." Claire looked directly at Ryan, her expression trapped somewhere between heartbreak and fury. "So, it's true," she said quietly. Ryan clenched his jaw. "Claire, please. Not here." But she cut him off immediately. "You said the business trips were over. You said you ended it." The entire restaurant went silent. Jessica's hand trembled as she reached for her napkin, pretending to wipe her mouth, but everyone could see the panic in her eyes. I sat back and watched the scene unfold. No shouting, no gloating, just the quiet satisfaction of watching lies unravel in public. Finally, Jessica turned toward me, desperate. "Daniel, I didn't know she'd be here," she whispered. "This wasn't supposed to happen." I tilted my head slightly. "You mean getting caught wasn't supposed to happen?" I asked calmly. "But it always does. Lies have terrible timing." Ryan tried grabbing Claire's arm, but she shoved him away, tears running down her face. "You can have him," she spat at Jessica. "He's yours. Good luck. He's been cheating on me for years." As the chaos exploded around the table, I stood up quietly, dropped my napkin beside my plate, and left a few bills for the meal. Jessica reached toward me, her voice cracking. "Daniel, wait. Please." I stopped just long enough to look back at her. "You ended this marriage the moment you decided I wasn't enough," I said. "I just gave you the stage to say it publicly." Then I turned and walked out, leaving Jessica and Ryan sitting in the wreckage of their own lies. Later that night, Claire called me. "I needed to see it for myself," she said quietly. "I never would have believed it otherwise." We talked for almost an hour. 2 wounded people, sharing the same kind of pain. There was something strangely comforting about it. No romance. No plans. Just understanding. The kind that only comes from surviving the same betrayal. The next morning, Jessica showed up at our house in Salem, Oregon. Her eyes were red. Her makeup was smeared. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "It's over with him. I was stupid. I lost everything." I nodded, completely unmoved. "You didn't lose everything," I told her. "You gave it away." She begged for another chance, but my answer was simple. "You said you wanted to be honest with yourself," I said. "Stay honest. This is who you are now." Then I closed the door. In the months that followed, I rebuilt my life piece by piece. I sold the house, took a new job, and started traveling again. I later heard Ryan's marriage ended in disaster, and his career collapsed after the HR complaint Claire filed against him. Jessica moved into a small apartment alone in Eugene, Oregon, where freedom tasted a lot more like regret. Sometimes, when I think back to that dinner, I remember the exact moment she froze. The restaurant door opening. The truth walking in behind it. She thought she was leaving me for love. Instead, she walked straight into the ruins of her own deceit. And all I had to do was let the truth take its seat at the table.